Good evening, everyone. Hope everybody's doing great. Like and subscribe. Now let's get straight down to the point. Joe Biden talking about negotiating with Africa is totally ridiculous. Why? Because black people are black people regardless the continent. White people are white people regardless the continent. Asians are Asians regardless the continent. Now, if you think you're going to disrespect black people in the United States of America, and then you think that they're going to trust you in Africa, you are out of your ever loving mind. You are egotistical. You're an egotistical, insane person. You're egotistically insane. Black people are black people no matter where you go. It doesn't matter. You're not going to get me to hate black people in Africa. You ever heard the term African diaspora? They're asking us to come back. And the reason why a lot of us have not gone back is because we can't afford to at this particular point in time. But black people are black people just like white people are white people. And I'm going to tell you this. Until you pay reparations to black people in America and stop your systemic racism, you're not going to get anything out of Africa. Nothing. You have to prove that you're worthy of their trust. And to prove that you're worthy of their trust, you're going to have to pay some reparations. And I don't mean no BS reparations either. I don't mean I'm not talking about extending credit to African Americans through banks, because that's benefiting the banks. Nobody's stupid like that. Nobody's stupid. You're going to have to pay reparations. And it's going to have to, and it should be at least $1 million per person. At least $1 million per person, minimum, cash money. Nobody wants credit. And then then there's going to have to be an end to systemic racism. Yeah, an end to systemic racism. And let me tell you now, I'm not voting. I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican. If you're not talking about reparations and putting an end to systemic racism, I'm not voting for you. I don't want to hear that crap. And don't think that you're going to sell me short, offering me some BS. I'm going to tell you something. Nobody cares about Kamala Harris. You can go, you walking around, Kamala Harris is vice president. Who cares? Who cares? She's a goofball. When there was a crisis, her answer to the crisis was go Christmas shopping early. She's got no personality. She's got no character. And the only reason, and by neither do you, and the only reason you got in there is because Trump is a total loser. That's the only reason why you got in there. And we, African Americans, now known as Hebrew Israelites, we're waking up to the BS. We're waking up to the BS. And see, God's prophecy was your karma. God's prophecy was your karma. Our karma was the curse. But it wasn't really a curse. It was our karma for not following the 10 commandments. It was our karma for not following the 10 commandments. It was called a curse because of the lack of words during that time. There weren't as many words to express ideas at that time. So curse was the best word to use, but it's karma because it was quid pro quo, something for something. That something was not following the 10 commandments. The karma would be slavery. That was the karma. And we should have treated people, and had we treated people in accordance to the Ten Commandments, we wouldn't be in this situation. For every action, there's a reaction. Now, your reaction is this. You're not going to get anything from Africa disrespecting black people here. They know what you're doing. The world isn't blind, but you're egotistically insane, and you think that you can keep playing the same game over and over again. Well, eventually people get hip to it. And until you pay reparations here, you're not going to be trusted in Africa. You're not going to be trusted one little bit. You see, African Americans, now known as Hebrew Israelites, we never needed you. We never needed you. You needed us. That's why you brought us over here. And what did we do? We taught you how to farm. We taught you how to build cities. You didn't know any of this. You didn't know any of this. You needed us. You would have done away with us like you did Native Americans if you didn't need us. You need us for sports. You need us for sports. I mean, you didn't invent the crossover. You needed us for music. You didn't know music had a beat. Cut it out. Stop with the insane delusion. Pay reparations. That's your karma. Pay reparations, $1 million apiece. And I don't mean giving people $1 million. I'm not talking about $1 million bank. I'm not talking about bank loans. I'm not talking about anything that's going to benefit corporate America. I mean, we want cash. We want cash money. At least $1 million apiece. At least $1 million apiece. And so remember one thing. Black people are black people, regardless of the continent. Just like white people are white people. Just like Asians are Asians. Snap out of it. Snap out of it. African diaspora exists. And as we begin to move to Africa, the first things out of you all's mouth is, why are you going over there? You don't need to go over there. Whatever happened to go to Africa? Now when we go, you complain about it. And I tell you this, and then you give us $1 million reparation, and I tell you this. You give us $1 million reparation. If you don't get rid of systemic racism, then we're going to take that $1 million and we're going to Africa. So I suggest you act like you got some sense. Stop being egotistical, insane maniacs, and wake up and treat people the way people should be treated. And now another thing I want you to understand. Just because you went around the world colonizing, enslaving, raping, and mistreating people, don't think we're going to do that. That's your thing. That's not our thing. That's your thing. That's not our thing. That's your thing. And all that propaganda to make us think is our thing is not working. It's not working. There is nothing Africans have done to Africans that is not 10 times as bad as what you've done to Africans. So there, my brothers and sisters, my Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters, let me tell you now. Vote for the person, the candidate that's talking about reparations and putting an end to systemic racism. Don't go for the little goofy stuff like what did Pelosi and some person do? What did they do? Say Black Lives Matter? I think they kneeled or something. They kneeled and then they got up and started screwing us. Well, now karma time, baby. Excuse me, it's karma time. It's karma time. People are people, regardless of the continent. Because what are you all doing? The only foreigners or immigrants you want here are people from the West. The only foreigners and immigrants you want here are white people. So why wouldn't you think that the people in Africa, as far as immigrants are concerned, they want who? They want their people. They want their people back. They've asked for us to come back. And until you start treating us like you got good sense, we see no reason in staying here. We see no reason in voting. Because let me tell you this: the Democratic Party has done more to hurt black people than it has done to help black people. The biggest insult to black people is Bill Clinton. Three strike rule put black men in jail. Putting black women to work, all that did was subsidize corporations. You paid them minimum wage, the corporation paid minimum wage, and then you, the government, provided them with health care so that they could do what? Go to work. You don't retire making minimum wage. So understand this. The game is up. We know your game. It's up. You whitewash history, but you're still doing the same stuff that you whitewash. Give it up. Give it up. My brothers, my sisters, talk to you all later on. African American, formerly known as Hebrew Israelites. Oh, we're going to get our reparations. We're going to get it. We're going to get it because we deserve it. And we're going to get it because we asked for it. And we're also going to get it because we're smart enough to get it. Peace.